Well, hello there, and welcome to Masterpiece. I'm kidding. This is Sarah Gaston. Listen, today I want to talk to you about self-taping during quarantine. I know it's a challenging time for all of us, but I can give you some tips and tricks so that you can tape at home and still have some really fantastic results. So first of all, you want to have a nice solid backdrop. Now, obviously, you don't want to use this backdrop. I'm just using this to show off that I have a lot of acting books. Anywho, so what you would like to have is like a nice blue or a nice neutral gray and just something smooth. Honestly, you can go on Amazon or you can go to Target and you can buy a sheet. As long as you get some push pins and you do some, you can iron it or steam it a little bit, get those wrinkles out, throw that up, instant backdrop. Another key you want to think about is lighting. Lighting is so important. If you do not have a professional light kit, no worries. What you just want to make sure of is that you have the lights behind your camera or behind your telephone. You don't want to have light coming from behind you because otherwise you're kind of an outline and you look like somebody, on one of those, untold criminal stories like you're in the witness protection program, right? So we don't want that unless that's what you're going for. But typically casting directors want to see the color of the actor's eyes. They'll say this quite a bit, which is why you want to make sure that you have good lighting and that picks that up. Another thing you want to think about is where are your eye lines? So whether you're talking to one person in a scene or 4 people in a scene, you want to have specific places where you look. So for example, if I'm having a conversation with Ted, Ted is going to be a little to the left or a little bit to the right of the camera. And, oh, Ted, yes, I think it really is a mystery and I hope we can solve it, us being detectives and all. I just wrote that. Anyway, but you want to make sure that it's consistent, right? In other words, you don't want to look at Ted and sometimes he's here and sometimes he's over here and sometimes he's over here. Never think to yourself, oh, Ted is over there somewhere. No, Ted is right there. Okay, if you don't have a reader in the room, that's okay. You can have somebody on Skype, preferably your coach if you're working with somebody, or maybe even a friend if they're a good reader. Just one of the things you want to monitor is to make sure they're not too loud, because if they are closer to the camera than you are vocally, they can dominate you, and that can be really problematic in terms of pulling focus. Another thing I would really consider if it's a very big high stakes audition or if you're fairly new to this is to get some coaching. I'm available Skype, Zoom, various other platforms. So are a lot of coaches in town. You may have a favorite coach that you work with already, but a good coach can bring out some nuances in the scene and break down a script really readily and can really help you turn in the best performance possible. I always work with somebody, really, I would say 98% of the time. Every once in a while, it might be a commercial and it's just a spokesperson thing and I can do it myself. Otherwise, I myself always work with a coach. And the reason is you need another set of eyes to tell you what's working and what's not working. A little bit more about eye lines. If you have multiple eye lines, once again, figure out where they are, right? Say you're talking to Ted and then you're also talking to Gladys. It may say in the script that you turn to talk to Gladys, but if I turn to talk to Gladys, right, you just see the side of my face, right? We're not filming the scene here, we're just really suggesting it, so Gladys can be over there. Another thing, beware of how tall your subjects are, right? A lot of people will do this. Well, Gladys, I really don't think it's a good idea for us to go into that barn with all the chainsaws running, right? So apparently Gladys is a garden gnome because really she's only about 1 foot tall, right? Part of what we need to do with a taped audition is we need to create a sense of the environment. And that is a brilliant thing you can do, especially in your moment before, which is so key. I'll talk about that in another video. So say, for example, you're auditioning for Lock and Key, right? And you're going down to those like scary sea caves, right? So you don't want to walk in and go, hey, I'm really afraid of being in these caves. I don't know, this doesn't feel right to me. There's no sense that we're anywhere, right? I'm just kind of saying the words because they were on the page, right? So what we want to do is take time to really look around. You might see something strange that doesn't look right. Like, is that a creature? You might see some water dripping from the ceiling. And take all that time to really create the environment before you even begin to speak. It goes a long way in terms of setting up some sort of expectation in the viewer's mind, and then they want to know more. They're going to want to keep watching you. And honestly, if we don't capture that casting director's interest in the first 3 to 5 seconds, they may not watch it at all. Sad but true. Anyway, I think that's all I got for you today. It was so lovely to have you stop by. I wish you the best of luck out there. And as always, if you like this video, like us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. You can always come to my website, www.sarahgaston.com. Share with friends, share with family, share with people you don't like. I don't care. No, I really do care. Please share. And as always, break a leg out there.